On the night of 12th January 2026 at 10:11 p.m., a diary was recorded by the man of God, Prophet Alpha Xavier Kale. Prophecy number 2. Oil and gas shall spark a conversation that concerns that which favors a few and throws away others. There will be a cry over something that will show up as a report. This shall be a shaking. Pray for those working in the oil and gas sector that God will preserve their jobs in Jesus' name. The man of God wasn't writing a news report. He wasn't an economist. He wasn't an oil analyst. He was a prophet, and what he wrote that night, the world is now beginning to understand. The entry was simple, just a few lines under the heading, Gold and Oil. Think about that for a moment. 3 months later, Brent crude oil sits above $100 a barrel. WTI is hovering nearly 95. Weekly gains of nearly 60%, the biggest surge in months. And the question the whole world is now asking is exactly the one he described. Who does this favor? And who does this throw away? The answer is becoming painfully clear. Oil-rich nations, Saudi Arabia, Russia, the Gulf states are reaping billions in windfall profits. The treasuries are full. The power is growing. But on the other side of the equation, families in Asia, Africa, and Latin America are watching food prices soar. Farmers can't afford fertilizers. Truck drivers can't afford fuel. Small businesses are shutting their doors because oil doesn't just power cars. It powers everything. And when it becomes the privilege of a few, the rest of the world pays the price. He said it would favor a few and throw away others. This was not just a metaphor. It is the headline 3 months later. Then he wrote something else. There will be a cry over something that shall show up as a report, and it shall be a shaking. A report, a shaking. In April 2026, the International Energy Agency released what many are calling the most alarming oil market report in a generation. It described the largest disruption of global oil supply is recorded in history. Over 10 million barrels per day gone. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical waterways on Earth, largely closed as the US-Iran conflict chokes off the flow of oil from the Middle East to the rest of the world. Refineries shutting down, tankers stranded, markets swinging wildly. The World Bank warned of recession. The IMF raised an alarm. Currencies in oil-importing nations began to fall. This is a shaking, not a tremor, not a wobble, a shaking. And then, perhaps the most quietly powerful line in the entire entry he wrote, pray for those working in the oil and gas sector, that God will preserve their jobs. He didn't just say pray for prices. He didn't say pray for governments. He said pray for the workers, the men and women on the rigs, the tanker crews stranded at the sea, the refinery operators watching their plants shut down, the pipeline engineers in conflict zones, the young graduates who built careers in energy, now staring at an uncertain future. And beyond the immediate crisis, the long shadow of the global energy transition, which was already threatening millions of oil and gas jobs before a single shot was fired in the Middle East. And the declaration called prayer, pray for those working in the oil and gas sector, that God will preserve their jobs. Now here is what makes this entry extraordinary. It was written in January 2026. At that time, oil was trading at around $66 to $70 a barrel. The Strait of Hormuz was open. The US-Iran conflict had not escalated. There was no crisis, no shaking, no cry. The mainstream analysts saw nothing coming. But on a quiet night at 10:11 p.m., the man of God picked up his gadget as it was revealed by the Spirit of God and wrote about oil and gas and inequality and a report that would shake the world and the workers who would need prayer. And just 3 months later, here we are. Whether read as a prophetic insight, spiritual discernment, or simply a timeless observation about the volatile nature of the energy geopolitics, the words of Prophet Alpha Xavier, dated January 12, 2026, carry a weight that is hard to ignore when held up against the world as it stands today. This is the Prophet's Diary 2026.